What's up, guys? Welcome back. Alright, so we are getting into our ACGL Squads Cup, the final round, of course, here today. And with me, of course, Mr. Lean, wrong side. How you doing today, Patchy?
Hey, yeah, you know, I'm good. As per usual, ready to get into some great games as per usual. And we've got some spicy teams up in the lobby today, so I'm expecting some pretty serious stuff, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking at the players there from JXP Tempo. We're looking at Spaza Gaming, Mecha 6, Noble Odyssey. We've got Reluctant SA. We've got Gun. We've got the Natural Killers. We've got Empire Gaming. We've got Exiles Africa. We've got Static Nation. We've got Ultra SA. We got Team Vibe, I Envy. We also have the players from Team Sabaweli, Royal Esports. We've got Botswana playing. We've got Outsiders Official. We've got Revolution Esports playing. We've got Rez Haunted, EFX, Anarchy Angels, 7 Atoms, Alpha Pack, and of course, For You Stealth. So quite the lineup with the teams there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely interested to see how these teams perform here tonight because, yeah, it's going to be some pretty good insight amongst other things. And of course, I'm interested to see how things end up. Basically, you know, we've got quite a number of matches here to watch today, and well, each of these teams is very capable, as we've seen time and again. Some of these teams, although maybe not as proven as others, so maybe they have a chance to show themselves out here, show what they've got, what they're capable of, what they can bring out here. And maybe they can get some chicken dinners in the process.
Yeah, well, let's hope for the best. I mean, we're just waiting now for the match to get underway, and then we can jump up straight into that match. We, of course, have 3 rounds going today, so this being the first one, and all of it being an FPP, so we're going to jump up straight in towards that action once everything is done and sorted. And yeah, then we'll bring you right into that, and we're really looking forward to that early game action. And speaking of which, the match has started, so let's try and quickly jump in. There we go, there we have it. Right, so yeah, here we are, our first match, and hoping to see that action, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those maps. You know, it's interesting to watch. We've seen so many different zones all across the board. We've seen northern, southern, central. We've seen crazy stuff happening on this map before, and well, there's no telling what it will give us this time around. So I'm interested to see where that flight path, of course, is going to be ending up, and of course, then where the zone lands after that. A lot of these teams, they have their comfort spots, you know, they know where they like to drop. But, well, sometimes the zone maybe just throws them off a little bit. Sometimes the flight path not giving them what they want. So we are about to see if that ends up in the way they want to, of course. Now, like you said, we are in that FPP mode, which is going to be pretty interesting. Some of the teams maybe not as used to it as others. You know, we've seen different performances based on that sort of map. So we'll see if the FPP mode maybe has a little bit of an impact on the game. But for now, as you can see, that flight path, very, very nice for access to pretty much the entire map.
Yeah, no, that's quite a nice flight path to be looking at. I mean, it's taking us all the way from Quarry side, heading up over towards Stolba. So pretty good reach there for the teams. And yeah, now we just wait to see where they're going to go to, which way they're going to move, and who's going to drop into where.
Yeah. That is certainly the question.
So we've got a few stragglers, of course, in slot 1. And yeah, we're waiting for the teams to start making their way down. We've got Gun already making their push right down over to the Quarry region, where we used to see them go quite often. You know, they frequent that area on a fairly regular basis. You know, of course, when they've got the flight path in their favor, like it is, of course, now with this match.
Yeah, I mean, right now, that flight path going to be giving access to all of those nice spots. You can see Tampa making their way up to South Georgia. Nice and quick, maybe heading over to those crates. We'll see where they decide to go. But yeah, the rest of the teams just getting into those common spots, of course. We see them dropping all over the show. Now, nobody going to be in that military base, unfortunately for me. Obviously, the flight path not really going down towards that sort of direction. So it is what it is. But the rest of the spots, of course, Pachinki, Yaznaya, all those good places still getting the love.
Yeah, and we've got the teams dropping in some interesting spots there. We've got a few players, of course, landing north of the Pachinki area there. A few teams heading up over in towards the Yaznaya region. A few other teams, of course, heading up towards Shelton, the surrounding area, and then also School and the Rozhok region. So it's definitely going to be very interesting seeing what these teams are going to do. And there we have the zone taking us all the way over towards the western side of the map. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what these teams are going to do. We've got quite a number of teams landing all the way on that eastern edge. And yeah, we'll just see which way around they're going to play it, who's going to move up to where, and where they're going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely going to be an interesting spot. All the teams on the east obviously going to have to be moving in towards the west there, trying to get their way in. But we'll see if they decide to move straight away or if they'll get some loot going first. And maybe they will run into one another and get some fights going before that happens.
Well, we've got Vibrant, of course, now in the school area. They're moving up right over towards Resolution Esports, or Revolution. I said Resolution. So they're moving up right over towards Revolution. So yeah, there's some nice potential for some early game fights, of course, to start breaking out here. See now whether or not Vibrant's going to make that push, head up right in towards them, or if they're either going to try and well, yeah, maybe we'll see the players from Revolution make a different kind of play.
Yeah, I guess we will indeed see what will happen here. All of those teams obviously going to be funneled in towards the west as they make their way in towards the zone. Going to be a big factor in how this is determined. A lot of the teams that made their way in towards that west, though, they're going to be pretty happy, sitting pretty standardly where they are, nice and comfy, not having to go anywhere. One of those teams, of course, being Tampa, which has been doing pretty well recently as of late, and maybe looking to continue that streak here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see how they play out this whole piece. They're, of course, now moving up in towards the George crates there. We also have the players, of course, from Royal Esports just off in the distance. But some shots now flying up here between Vibe and the players there from Revolution. Ooh, there we go. So Rain, of course, getting knocked out in the process. So the first player to get knocked. We got Trigger now just moving up to get that res going. We got Pita, of course, just on the side there. Nova and Six holding up in the building here, trying to see if they can find the angle on the players there. But Nova now getting knocked out in the process. So we're waiting now to see whether or not the players here from Revolution are going to start pushing in or not. Oh, we got a few grains coming in as well.
Things are getting nice and tight as usual. We'll see how this one pans out for them, getting pushed at the moment. Pretty strong stuff. Let's see if Rev can hold on to this one, if they can hold on to their spot, not get pushed over.
Ooh, there we go. We got some shots now flying in, and if we have a quick look at the map, of course, as well, you see there's quite a few teams still on the outside. We've got Revolution now putting several more hits in, getting that hit in right there on Yakes. So Vibe now on 3 players. Ooh, 6 also taking quite a bit of quite a bit of damage there, as he's trying to move up towards Yakes to get that res going. Now we're just waiting to see what are they going to do. Will we see Revolution moving up towards them? Are they going to push? Are they going to get those hits in? Or will it pretty much just be on the side? But Rain, of course, now sneaking up the edge. Getting a beautiful flank in, putting the hits into Vibe. Yakes, of course, now getting claimed. Nova being the last one left of the players here from Vibe that we can see. Ooh, shots flying up right towards him. So we got Nova and his teammates Bounds. Bounds now making his move, trying to join up with the remainder of his teammates. Oh, there we go. 6 gets taken down. Nova gets the hit on Trigger. Bounds now moving up. Now we're just waiting to see what Bounds is going to do. Will he be able to get that hit in? Oh, there we go. Down goes Trigger. So the players here from Revolution still sitting on 3 players. Some shots now flying up there from Inmate. Nova and Pounds, of course, now just held up in the compound, trying to find the angles.
Yeah, looking super close at the moment. Vibrant sitting in that building there, just trying to repel this attack. Revolution just outside here, trying to finish what they started here. Some shots going in. Meanwhile, a couple of shots going in across the map as well. And some players getting run over, as we like to see, as per usual. So Empire going to be getting hit pretty hard at the moment.
Yeah, let's see if we can jump up over to that section. Here we go. So Empire, as you can see, of course, now just busy moving about. We saw a few hits in the kill feed, of course, and the players there from the Botswana team doing quite a bit of damage. But the Exiles also now turning up the heat, putting a quick few shots in as well, as we just saw in the kill feed.
Yeah, so right now we got some very nice early fights going on across the board, which is pretty nice to see. The teams all still spread out across the map, not getting too close, but there are a couple of fights happening here and there, a lot of movement and activity going on here as that blue zone starts to eventually make its way in, slowly but surely going to be just closing up and start to push the teams inward. But for the moment, they still have free reign of this map, and well, in the meantime, a couple of teams have taken up residence in that military base, just utilizing that extra space that they've got going.
Yeah, we also see the players here from Ultra just moving up right there with Spaza Gaming. Slowly but surely trying to get in, trying to get those shots flying in. So Ultra moving up as a squad now, coming in bit by bit. Here we go, so they're moving off, and those teams, of course, that you were talking about, that being the players there from the 4U Stealth team. So we see them all the way down in the south there, over in the military island. And of course, the Exiles now closing up as well, moving in on the players there from Team Sabaweli. Or rather, they just rotating past. It looked like they were heading up in that direction. Possibly starting with a bit of a push there.
Yeah. couple of teams now moving in towards that zone, getting a little bit active here, which is nice. You can see them just moving around, not really playing too passively. They're getting nice and active, moving around, getting into positions that you can see now. The Exiles moving up towards the western bridge there, just to the top, gun right next to them. A whole lot of teams already inside this zone, so they're sitting inside the zone nice and comfy. Odyssey making their way in as well. A couple of teams still to join the rest of the crews here inside the zone, but 25 teams, 90 players, everyone's finding a spot in this zone so far.
Yeah, and it's going to be absolutely crazy once the zone now, of course, starts closing in and all these teams are forced into the zone. Seeing where all of them are going to have to find a place and where they're going to go. Yeah, I think we're in for quite a bit of a show there. And of course, there we have our first player being flung, getting it taken down. So now the match has turned into official one. The players, of course, getting hit in the process. And we are looking at the players here from Static Nation now. They're facing off against the players here from Mecha 6. Ooh, can just hear the shots in the background. Ash getting knocked. Shade, well, Ash taking quite a bit of damage, rather. We got Psycho also just right there getting knocked out. We got Pharaoh and Slytherin. And the red zone now also coming into play. So Joker now trying to make his move up over towards Shade. We got Ash just in the building there with Slytherin, hoping that he could maybe get that hit. And of course, you got one of the other players still just off onto the side there, Jax from the Static Nation. Oh, there we go. The fight now starting. We also have Odyssey and INV in the kill feed, exchanging a nice few shots. There we go. Slytherin getting knocked out. Ash getting the thirst. Psycho and Pharaoh, of course, now also just moving up, heading in right towards Ash. So let's see, will he be able to fend them off as they now try and move up into the compound here. President, of course, also getting knocked out in the kill feed. Several shots, of course, now still flying all over the place, and Ash getting knocked out. Here we go, quick thirsting as well. Everything riding on Shade and Joker now. Ooh, we've got the team there from Anarchy Angels now moving in as well from the northeastern side. Slowly but surely closing in on Mecha 6, but shots now flying up from Joker right over towards Psycho. Oh, Psycho lands the finishing blow, and then of course Shade moves in and lands that blow right there to send the team back into the lobby. We still have two teams still holding up in school area, that of course being the players that we had a little while ago, that being Vibe and the team there from Revolution. Several other teams, of course, now as you can see on the map here, making their way up in towards the zone, positioning themselves fairly well, I must add. So let's see what's cooking over in the school area there. Good. Revolution still moving about slowly but surely, now closing in on the players right up ahead of them. That of course being Nova and Pounds. Down goes Nova. Pounds now the last one left. Revolution pushing in, trying to get those hits in. Will they be successful? We will find out soon as they now start moving in right up towards Pounds. Pounds of course got his eye on the door there. Oh, there we go. Up they come and sends back into the lobby. Well played to Revolution, taking out the team there from Vibe. So we are left now with 22 teams, 80 players still in play. Now let's jump over to Gun and see what they got cooking. As you can see in the kill feed, they're already putting a few shots over towards the players there from Reluctant. Reluctant, of course, being just over towards their northeastern side. A quick exchange there between Gun, just making sure everyone's got the weapons they need. Reluctant, of course, you can see just down below. But actually, there's quite a few teams now still moving up, and you've got the Outsiders, of course, moving up right over towards the Natural Killers. Ooh. Shots now flying in from gun side. Temper now rolling up as well.
Yeah, right now a lot of teams on the map getting in towards these positions here. Lots of fights going on, and well, we've still got plenty of players left on this board. Lots and lots of players to try and cram into this space, and it's only about to get smaller and smaller as this blue zone comes in here. All of these players, a lot of this team's actually centralized around the center of the zone, so very, very concentrated around this area. A lot of teams just wanting to take over that real estate, really putting the fight up for it.
Yeah, and we'll see what it is they're going to do with it. I mean, like you mentioned, so many teams right there in that central part. And we still have a few teams on the outlying regions of the map there. So just waiting to see what they're going to do. Are they going to push in as well? Will we see some more shots there? Ooh, but we got several hits, of course, now flying up from EFX, as well as the players there from Res Haunted. We got Reluctant tapping a quick few shots over towards the Temper side as well.
Yeah, lots of teams now pretty close together here. They're sort of still on their toes, and I really like the fact that they're just moving around here to there. Lots of shots going off. You could see Temper now putting some hits in gun, taking the fight with them. And that's going off there. Quite a few hits in towards us, and you can see Effects, Reluctant, Temper, and Gun all concentrated there right around, very close to one another in the center of that zone there.
So this could be a very crucial play, you know, a very tough one for positioning and so on, is depending on what these players can do with what they have. And I mean, just looking at the three teams that we've got here, this being Temper, Reluctant, and Gun, you know, Gun really has a good positioning up on the hill. We got Reluctant also pretty well positioned in that compound, so they can cover quite a few angles. Then of course Temper also not looking too bad with the position that they've got, but it all depends on, of course, what they can do with that position.
Yeah, that is a very, very critical thing. Of course, you know, you can get as many advantages as you like, but if you don't do anything with it, well, then it doesn't matter. So hopefully these teams can really utilize the positioning that they find themselves with, maybe get in some of those very critical knocks, some critical kills, maybe get themselves some extra points on the board. Still a lot of big names on this board to do a lot of work, so anything could really happen at this point. All these teams just trying to set themselves up as the blue zone moves in. Temper still firing off those shots towards Reluctant, and we're about to see the next zone dropping pretty soon, which is going to, of course, funnel the teams in one direction or the other once again.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. And so we'll see what's going to happen now. Just looking at this map, we have so many players still left. 22 teams, 80 players. And this blue zone about to drop. Well, the next zone, rather, about to drop. We've got still a few teams in the blue zone. That, of course, being the players there from Botswana, and as well as the team from Alpha Pack, just making their move in, and the zone now shifting over towards the eastern side of the playable area there.
Yeah, that is quite a tight little zone. It's going to push all the teams from the west there in towards the east, but a lot of teams already in there. You can see iEnvy, you can see Exiles For You, Revolution, Odyssey, they're all inside the zone already. They have a really, really great position to be set up here. Temper now moving in right behind Effect, also pushing in towards the zone here. So a lot of the teams just trying to stand their ground, get into that zone as soon as possible. And all these teams which are outside of the zone right now are going to have a difficult fight to try and get in now.
Yep, no, that's very true. And of course, we see the players here from Reluctant just picking a quick few shots off towards the players there from Temper as they now make their way out. And we also have a few more shots happening on the map, just trying to see where that is. That is, of course, right there on the northeastern side, where we've got the team from Mecha 6, as well as the players from Botswana now closing in. Botswana being out in the blue zone, trying to make that push. Let's see, will they get those hits? Mecha 6, of course, here. Ooh, we got a few hits now going in as well over towards the players there from EFX, I think it was.
Yeah, iEnvy right on top of Effects right there, just taking some shots. But Temper now rolling up, actually moving right in on the players on iEnvy and Effects. And they might just find themselves in a really difficult spot pretty soon.
Yeah. Ooh, there we go. So everyone moving up. As you mentioned, the iEnvy team already well positioned in the compound here. Now we're just waiting to see what's going to happen. We also have the players there from Team Sabaweli just off to the side as well. Waiting to see, are they going to move in? Are they going to take any third-party shots? Oh, there we go. The Exiles also putting a quick few shots in over towards the Reluctant players as well as Gun.
Ooh, that is a lot of damage right now being done. Exiles putting up some shots towards the Gun as they try and move in. Temper now doing a bit of a flip-flop after moving down towards the coast and getting greeted by iEnvy. They're flipping over towards that bridge, maybe just trying to set themselves up in a better position that is not already taken over by one of the other teams.
Yeah. And we see Temper, of course, now also pulling up right behind the team from Gun. So we might have an interesting three-way happening right here as we've got Temper, Gun, and the Exiles all very, very close together.
Yeah, three teams also up towards the northwest of the zone. You can see the Natural Killers surrounded by a whole bunch of teams that are getting in there. And as the rest of the teams try to make their way into the zone, it's going to become more and more clustered. We still have 76 players, 22 teams left on the board. And luckily, there's a pretty decent amount of space in here, so most of the teams will be able to squeeze up, but that space is only going to run out more and more, and that means more fights.
Yeah, and we see the Outsiders, of course, just up ahead of the Natural Killers here. We also have the players there from Reluctant now getting rushed by the Outsiders as they move in right into their compound. There we go, Blitz and Sleepy. Ooh, Kaizen getting knocked. Bob, oh, getting shot as he's just trying to rotate around. Gets a quick one in on Sleepy. Now it is him up against Blitz. Will he be able to get that shot in? Natural Killers also coming in with a bit of a third party there. Bob now getting knocked out. The remainder of the Outsiders, of course, now just rushing up. Andrew and Rasta. Up they come. Will they get this last few hits into the Reluctant team? Ooh. Beautiful play by Blitz. Takes out the whole team and then pushed up into their position. Beautiful play there.
Yeah, some really great defense, but they're going to have to keep those beautiful plays coming because that zone has dropped once again, and it looks like we might be getting one of those, a similar little bridge funnel going up here as that zone drops all the way towards the west, heading up. Lots of players going to have to move up now because a lot of them are outside of that zone. There's only about 3 inside the zone at the moment, but one of them is Temper, so they've got themselves in a pretty good position at the moment that they could leverage here.
So we are just waiting to see what's going to happen. But in the meantime, the Odyssey team just absolutely ripping up into the players there from Botswana. Doing quite a bit of damage. And of course, as you can see, just up ahead of them, we've got Rez Haunted. Now the next team up to get shot at. You're waiting to see what Odyssey will be able to pull off in this one. So they're, of course, now moving in slowly but surely. And as you mentioned, we've got several more teams sitting in that zone. We've got the players, of course, there from Anarchy Angels, very, very close. Right there on the edge of the zone to our 2 stragglers that we got. And the remainder of the teams all just now trying to find their spot in that zone.
Yeah, not an easy spot to be at all. You know, if you're outside the zone at the moment, it's going to be difficult to break your way inside as it becomes more and more populated. Yeah, we still have 20 players and 66 players and 20 teams, should I say, left on the board. And that is definitely going to be a difficult time because you're going to have to push past a whole lot of teams if you want to get into that zone now. And all these teams are not going to let it go up for free. They're going to put up a fight.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. And we've got the Exiles just getting a quick few hits in on the Natural Killers there. Sela, of course, you can see just getting knocked out. We've got Gun up on the hill, putting a few shots in as well, trying to get a few hits in over towards the players there. Of course, being from Temper that we've got just at the field station. And now also the players from Spaza Gaming out in the open field. Ooh. Ooh, Odyssey and Rez also in the kill feed there, getting a nice grin. Mecha 6 now just rolling up as well. Here we go,
some
baby
shots flying
girls.
all across the board at the moment. Pretty intense stuff right now. You can see lots of shots heading up towards the southwestern side where all of those fights are happening as they try and crack their way in. Difficult spot to be in.
And Alpha Pack taking quite a bit of damage in the process here, and Gun really taking full advantage of this, just picking them off as they go. But Alpha Pack, of course, pulling up right over here towards the players there from the Anarchy Angels. And we're waiting now for Reluctant to make their move up in towards zone. We got Sleepy getting a quick hit in on one of the Alpha Pack players. As you can see, we've got the Anarchy Angels sitting right here. Muffin, Eclipse, and Sprinkles also just there on the edge. Reluctant getting sent back. Off they go into the lobby. Ooh, Odyssey also getting a quick few hits in. Nukes landing that hit on Reluctant. There we go. So that's one way to finish it. And the northern side of the map also pretty crazy, as several teams now try to make their way up in towards the zone here. The players from Spaza Gaming caught out in the open field. We also have the last remaining player left for the Natural Killers just over towards the north. And then, of course, the players there from Odyssey also trying to make their push up in towards zone. Mecha 6 not too far behind them.
Yeah, these teams trying to move in. Tempa obviously going to be the one to also try and move in there, as that zone just ahead of them managed to push in there. But of course, the Angels very close, and Gun right ahead of them as well. Meanwhile, the rest of the teams need to rotate in there from the east, because there's a whole bunch of teams still on the edge of that blue zone. They need to get their way in towards the zone pretty quickly if they want to get a spot inside here, because all these teams are going to get very dominant. We see huge teams right in there. Gun, Temper, Exiles, everyone's in here already. They're going to put up quite a fight for the teams trying to get in there.
Ooh. And the Anarchy Angels doing quite a bit of damage here to the Temper team. Muffin now being the last one left, so one Gren could send the whole Temper team back to the lobby. We've got several more players, of course, now moving in, trying to knock Muffin down. Just managing to dodge that shot there. Oh, for you, just rolling up, trying to make the rounds there, trying to pull up, and they do moving up right on towards the Temper team here. There we go, shots galore. Muffin getting sent back by Boyka. Now we've got 4U and the players, of course, here from Temper just battling it out. Odyssey also not too far away, as you can see, just off in distance. Gun still up on the ridge. Ooh. Mayo getting taken down. Now everything is riding on Nos. Oh, Zane and Nos just battling it out. Gun coming in with a beautiful third party. Down goes Nos. So 4U takes them down. I Envy now battling it out with the players here from Team Sabaweli. Let's see, will they get any of these hits? They are trying to make the push up in towards that zone, or the little of the zone that we still have left. Gun, of course, also quickly taking out the players there from 4U. Inspector, now the last one left. We got Vibe now, well, sorry, not Vibe. The players here from Sabaweli just rushing up. Inspector doing quite a bit of damage there to Shroud, knocking him out. Good Luffy and President, of course, now trying to move in. Will they get those hits? Gun coming in with a bit of a third party there off the side as well. Oh, down goes INV. So we are left with 5 teams, that being the players from Team Sabaweli. We've got Gun, we've got Odyssey, we've got the Exiles, and then of course the players there from Spaza Gaming. And the only team currently in zone is Gun. Oh, Gun taking down Team Sabaweli. So 4 teams remaining now. Odyssey, of course, right here with the Exiles. So let's see if we can get into the fight. Here we go. Odyssey getting knocked once again. So Vindog and Sidon, the 2 remaining players for Odyssey. The Exiles moving up. Sidon getting a quick hit in. 2 players going down. Zane and Cheddar both getting knocked out. So Nukes and MG, the last 2 players left now. Let's see, will they be able to clutch this? Will Odyssey get the hit? Gun getting a quick hit in on Vindog. So Sidon now the last hopeful left for the player, for the team rather, here from Odyssey. So let's see, will they be able to pull it off? The blue zone also closing in. So not only is Sidon battling the teams, but also the blue zone, which will be the one to send him back. Ooh, Zane getting claimed by the zone. Cheddar, MG, and Nukes making the run for it. Sidon left out in the blue. Everyone now trying to move up. Gun in a pretty good position right up on the ridge here. Some great vantage points that they've got here as well. And of course, the shots now flying up from Spaza Gaming right over towards the team there from the Exiles. We got Nukes and Cheddar, the two remaining ones now. MG getting knocked out. Down goes Sidon. 3 teams remaining. We got Gun, the Exiles, and of course the players from Spaza Gaming.
Yeah, and it's a difficult three-way to be in because all of these teams can put up such a good fight here. They have a lot of firepower, but the Gun is in a really good position up here on this little incline here. They could potentially win out the fights if they manage to take them well, but this is going to come down to which team makes a mistake here, which team slips up. If one of these teams can maybe start to move their way in, maybe Spaza Gaming could pull a fast one onto Gun, even things out, and maybe take the fight against the Exiles. But somebody has to make a move because if, you know, it's sort of a knock-on effect. If one team slips up, then they're going to get taken down by 2. So it has to be played absolutely perfectly right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough one. So let's see what these teams are going to do. Spaza Gaming on 4, Gun on 3, Exiles on 3. Oh, make that 1. MG, the last one left. Nukes, of course, getting thirsted up there by Coco. So now it's a 3v4v1.
Yeah. And now Gun is moving in on Spaza Gaming, having dealt with all of the Exiles except for one. They feel confident taking the fight against the last remaining Bastion from Spaza Gaming here. The shots now flying in. MG actually moving up from behind. This could be big.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see what happens. Oh, Deity popping a quick bit of health there. MG now just rushing up. Is he going to come in with a third party? Deity getting caught out in the blue zone. Just makes a quick rush. MG runs in. Dude, does a bit of damage. Takes down Gun. Up comes... Wow, what a move that was.
Yeah, that is the spanner in the works that I was waiting for. MG just throwing absolute chaos into the ranks there. Now it's MG versus Spaza Gaming. Everyone just licking their wounds for the moment, trying to get back to that full health.
Wow. No, that was a crazy play. But now MG can't wait too long because it gives the players here from Spaza Gaming quite enough time to get the reses going and everyone healed up. So he is losing a little bit of the advantage they had there. And up comes a Gren from Deity. MG taking quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, that's going to make things really difficult. One shot could end this all.
And up comes the whole team just rushing in. And there we have it. That is the end. Beautiful push though. Wow.
Wow. That was brilliant. I think at the end of the day there, that could have gone any way, but the absolute chaos that Exiles found themselves in, they were able to come back. MG was able to do such a good job. They would have gone out third there. Instead, they come out second with quite a few kills to their names, thanks to MG, who just absolutely went berserk there at the last. He was like, yeah, you left me alive. Well, that's going to be your fault, because now I'm just going to wipe your whole squad for you.
That was absolutely insane, and what a beautiful push that was. You know, just seeing the players there. I mean, this whole match was just absolutely insane. You know, so much action happening between all the teams here. It has been absolutely crazy. And what a way to start it off, though. I mean, this is not called the finals for no reason. You know, it's pretty clear, and the teams are absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Definitely giving it their all in this one. And like you say, yeah, definitely the finals. You know, the teams want to put their last few points on the board, get those chicken dinners in, get those kills in to make sure that they finish as strong as possible. So hopefully we see that continued in the next couple of matches.
Yeah, well, we'll only find out in due time. But I think... I think we're going to move up into our next part. That, of course, well, we'll be getting the second match ready in a few moments' time, of course. Yeah, I was so captivated by what we had happening in this match that I completely forgot to do the highlights. So that was just insane. Well, I managed to get this last bit, so I think let's just play that part, and then we're gonna go into our intermission screen while we wait for the next match to get underway. So on that one, yeah, let's move up. Let's move on. What's up, guys? Here we go. We are back with the next round, getting everything ready, done, and sorted. Alright, so, Patchy, we're in for some action in this one, so let's see what is gonna happen. Just waiting for this match, of course, now to load up so we can get everything done and dusted. Hui!
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Of course, map 1, very, very interesting. All across the board, we had some great stuff going on, and I'm sure that we're going to be seeing something like that coming again in this map, of course. All these teams got lots of points to get on that board, so hopefully we'll be seeing some spicy stuff going forward into this one, and of course, one after this one as well.
Yeah, all right, so without further ado, let's jump into that match and see what we got cooking here. So as you can see, of course, the players in the lobby, the teams there being the players, of course, from JXP Tempo over in slot 2. We've got the players from Spaza Gaming in 3. We got Mecha 6 in slot 4. We've got Odyssey over in slot 5. We've got the players from Reluctant SA in slot 6. We've got the team from Gun in slot 7. We've got the Natural Killers in slot 8. Then, of course, we've got the players there from Empire Gaming in 9. We've got the Exiles in slot 10. We've got the team from Static Nation over in slot 11. In 12, we've got the players there from Ultra. Then, of course, over in slot 13, we've got the team from Team Vibe. We've got INV in slot 14. We've got the players from Team Sabaweli in slot 15. In 16, we've got the players there from Royal Esports. We've got Botswana over in slot 17. In 18, we've got the Outsiders. We've got the players from Revolution over in slot 19. In 20, we've got Res Haunted. 21, we've got the team from EFX. 22, we've got the Anarchy Angels. We've got the 7 Atoms over in slot 23. Alpha Pack in 24. And then, of course, the 4U Stealth team over in slot 25. And the flight path. An interesting one. This time going from the military base and heading all the way up over towards just past shooting range.
Indeed, very, very interesting here. Flight path going from military base, going to be giving the chance for these players to drop into that spot, and I'm quite happy to see that that is a spot that's being utilized a little bit more. Even in the previous map, when they didn't have the flight path going over that particular spot, they still had a couple of teams rotating down into there, so it's really nice to see that spot being utilized by a couple of the teams, and of course going to be given a lot of the opportunity for the rest of the teams to drop into those common hotspots that we usually see going across that map, so nothing too crazy there. The next thing I guess to look out for would of course be that zone is going to tell us where these teams are going to have to start rotating to.
Yeah, no, definitely that is the thing that we're waiting for, to see what is going to happen. The plane, of course, just finishing its path there. We got a few teams dropping down all over the place. We got Temper now moving up. Oh, there we go. We got the first hit there from 4U coming in, getting a player knocked out by vehicle. So they're just waiting to see what the zone is going to do. I envy. Oh, man, that is a tough start.
Yeah, that is quite funny. If you drop in and can't find a weapon, like the second best thing you can do is just hop into a vehicle and squash your opponents.
Alright, so the zone, of course, being all the way up over towards that northwestern side of the map there. And we've got quite a concentration of players all over the place, over in the school and Rozak region there. Down over here next to farm, we've got quite a few teams as well. And, of course, 4 teams, in fact, dropping right there on the military island.
Yeah, that's pretty nice to see, but unfortunately for those teams, that zone has fallen all the way in towards the northern side of the map. So that means they're going to have to rotate their way up eventually at some stage. Of course, not immediately. That blue zone takes a little while to come in, but still, they're going to have to make their way up. A lot of teams finding themselves inside the zone already, so they're going to be pretty happy with that. A couple of places in the map not really populated yet, but could potentially be rotated into and utilized. I see we have a huge cluster of teams right here towards Rozok and school.
Yeah. So, of course, now quickly jumping over to the players here from the Anarchy Angels. As you can see them, of course, just making their way around here. And we have the players from Alpha Pack just over towards their northwest. So there is some potential for some fights here. From looking at the map, it looks like the teams are all right on top of each other. But once again, when we jump in and we have a look, we see that the teams are actually quite widely spread out. But EFX putting some shots into Empire there with a machete. And of course now also some more hits flying up from the Outsiders as they now push up into the team there from Vibrant.
Yeah, so some nice early fights happening across the board, which is pretty good, vibrant, and of course the outside is now going at it, and even iEnvy and 4U going to be putting in hits of their own, so some very nice early aggression happening here, getting some points on the board, potentially maybe just shaking things up. Of course, there are so many teams in this map, so many players that you have to get aggressive. You don't really have a choice, otherwise you'll most likely just get drowned by a sea of players.
Yeah, that is definitely the case, and we're just waiting now to see where the biggest portion of action is, because we've got shots, of course, flying up here, as you can see over in Malta. The players there from 4U just battling it out with iEnvy that we have right over towards their southwest. So they've got Maniac, Boyka, and Inspector, the last three players for the team there. 4U also taking a little bit of damage there. Mr. For the win, of course, fairly low on health. Boyka and Zion also fairly low. They're just trying to rotate out a little bit now. Ooh, iEnvy getting that hit in on Boyka. So Boyka getting the knock on Boyka, and Maniac getting the thirst in.
Yeah, some nice exchanges there between iEnvy and 4U. 4U going to be forced to retreat away from that one, so iEnvy just scaring them off for the moment, and they're going to have to recuperate a little bit before they make their way in. A whole lot of teams, as you can see down there towards the southeast of the zone at the moment. Very, very clustered, very, very populated at the moment, so that's going to be quite a spot to watch. Potentially lots of fights going to be breaking out there in due course, and of course that blue zone eventually going to start making its way in at some stage. Still a little ways off, but teams going to have to keep that in the back of their mind before they start rotating up. You can see a couple of teams down there in the military base, about 3 of them, and a couple of teams still just rotating around, sort of getting their loot and making sure that they're good to go before they start moving in. Of course, Gun being one of those teams still outside the zone, but at least close enough to move in when they need to do so.
Yeah, we got the players here from Spaza Gaming and the team, of course, from Reluctant, all the way over in the military island here, just tapping away those shots at each other now. So Reluctant still on a full squad. They are a little bit separated at the moment, and we got Coco, of course, there from Spaza Gaming, moving himself up right up into that overlooking position there, getting some great vantage points from there. And of course now the remainder of the players here from Spaza Gaming just battling it out with Reluctant. We're waiting now to see what is going to happen. Coco, of course, just tapping away. Ooh, Deity also getting a quick hit in on Blitz.
Yeah, these teams pretty close here. Reluctant going to have to adjust. Unless they get flanked by Coco, they're going to have to make something happen here. Maybe take the fight to the other team. We'll see if they can make it happen as they get close and very, very up close and personal with one another.
Oh, down goes Staples. Reluctant putting those hits in. Deity getting a quick hit in on Blitz. Now we got Sleepy and Maestro still left. See, will they push up? Are they going to try and get the shot in? Berserk now getting knocked out in the process. Deity left with 1 HP. Maestro is moving in. Berserk getting that quick hit. Smitty getting taken down. Down goes Berserk as well. Deity and Coco now left to battle it out with the players here from Reluctant, but of course Coco nowhere near. He is off in the distance. He is now running up towards his teammates there, trying to see if he can maybe save them, get that squad wipe going.
Yeah, Coco maybe a little bit too late there. He's not going to be able to save his team. He's left alive, and maybe not for long.
Down he goes. Well, what a beautiful retaliation we had there by Reluctant, but now we also have the Outsiders doing a bit of damage as well, as we can see in the kill feed there. That, of course, being all the way over here in Rozhok. So the Outsiders getting a beautiful few hits in on the Vibrant team. Vibrant now left with their last player, that, of course, being 6. So 6 is now the last hope for the team here. Let's see, will he be able to make his escape? He is trying really hard to get away. And of course the Outsiders doing quite a bit of damage there. The Natural Killers also now putting a quick few shots in. You just saw them in the kill feed there. So let's see if we can jump up into that. That, of course, being the players here from Royal Esports.
Yeah, taking some heavy fire at the moment as, well, Natural Killer's not looking to be taken out anytime soon, but they will be greeted by a bit of a red zone, which might make things a little bit uncomfortable for them. We'll see if that comes into play anytime soon. Royal going to have to defend against Natural Killers here unless they don't want to get, if they don't want to get taken out, that is. Plenty of teams still inside that zone, though, and, well, there's plenty of free real estate at the moment, despite the fact that we have 84 players on the board.
So Vibe also putting a quick few shots into Revolution. Odyssey and Rez also battling it out. And we're waiting to see now whether or not this team here from Royal Esports, whether or not they're going to start moving up. But it seems like the Natural Killers are instead moving up. Sellout getting a quick hit in on Sid. We got Vile now just rushing up into the compound. We got Frosty just up ahead. Down he goes. Ooh, Starboy is the last hope for this team. Trying to get a quick res in on his teammate here. Up comes the shots and down they go.
Done and dusted from the Natural Killers. They take the shots as we know they can get those hits in, but the shots are not finished yet. So you can see in that kill feed plenty of teams taking some shots at one another. It's going to be the Exiles, of course, putting some hits in as they are surrounded by quite a number of teams here. Odyssey also taking some fire across the map towards the east, the west.
Yeah, and Static Nation now getting rushed by the Exiles. And they're, of course, also battling out in the red zone here. Cheddar getting knocked out in the process. Psycho also going down. Ooh, the Exiles now pushing up. Let's see, will they get those hits? They're trying to reach all the way over towards Cheddar. Cheddar getting hit in the process. NG moving up. Oh, there we go. So off goes the team from Static Nation. The red zone nearly getting that hit in on Cheddar. You can see Zane and MG, of course, now also putting a quick few shots across there, trying to land a few more if they can into Static Nation. A lot of teams now moving up into towards the central part of the zone. We've got the players, of course, from EFX as well as Alpha Pack. Then also Vibrant right there. They've got another player. Well, Six has got another team right there on top of him. That, of course, being the players from Mecha 6. So he's got a bit of a challenge waiting for him. Oh, there we go. Down goes Mr. Six. Quick finish.
Yeah. Off the board for him is the Angels now rotate past iEnvy, who don't actually take them out, but the 4U and I believe that's 7 somethings. They're also below iEnvy as well, so they could just be caught out here if they don't rotate up in time. Now they're utilizing the fact that that first blue zone doesn't do too much damage to be able to get in there, but when they get inside that zone, they're going to find it exceptionally populated right now. There's so many teams on the board, most of them concentrated around the center, but that doesn't make it any less dangerous for these teams to start moving in now.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the case. So we'll see where they choose to go, and yeah, I'm expecting quite a lot more action. Revolution, of course, now still holding up in the apartments area here in the school section. And we've got one of the Vibrant players right there, Mr. Gunner, putting some shots across over towards Rain. We've got Trigger and Inmate JC also still right there on the side. We're just waiting to see what is going to happen. Will Mr. Gunner, the last remaining player for the Vibrant team, will he be able to clutch this? Will he get those hits? That is the question of the hour, I guess.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely see if that is the case. We'll see if he can land those hits or not. The rest of the teams now trying to make their way in, and, well, they're spreading out a little bit more, but the fights are still happening. You can see effects right up there, super close. Silent Nation actually taking quite a bit of damage themselves. Lots of hits going in.
Yeah, and Alpha Pack also taking several hits now, as the Static Nation is trying to move up in towards their position. I think they just took them out. Yes, they did. And now we've got the team there, of course, from EFX also now moving up onto their position.
Yeah, not to mention the Natural Killers moving up very close by as well, looking to take some fights.
Man, this is going to be a really tough one for Alpha Pack. Effects now moving up, just rushing up into that building. We got Bates, Sully, Reverb, and Mercury rushing in right towards Mr. Brian, Zeke, and Waza. Waza up on the roof, trying to get a few more hits in. Oh, down goes Brian. So now it's up to Zeke and his teammate, of course, up on the roof. Mr. Waza. Zeke getting rushed. Oh, now everything just riding on Waza. Will he be able to clutch this? Will he get the shots needed? Oh, Reverb sneaks around the side.
Spicy stuff. Natural Killers now going up against Muller 6. They're also putting some hits in just down below the battle where Effects just won out. So lots of teams are super close together, and the winner of the fight of Muller 6 versus Natural Killers could just go up against Effects here since they're so close.
Well, Val taking quite a bit of damage there. Senna also on the receiving end. Down he goes. Now everything riding on Vile, doing a quick drop shot. Ooh. And done and dusted.
Sure. Natural Killers getting wiped out. That's not something you see every day. And, well, that's a amount of teams on the board at the moment, but there are still 19 teams, 63 players left, and all of them trying to make their way into the zone as it slowly but surely closes in. You can see a couple of the teams moving in from the east, a couple of teams up towards the west, up in the North George, just sitting nice and cozy together. We'll see if they can exchange any fire anytime soon. You can see Exile sitting right in the middle of the zone. It might bode them well for the next one.
Well, we're seeing quite a few shots now coming up from Mr. Gunner all the way down in the school area there. Let's see if we can quickly jump up and see if he's going to get the clutch play. The Revolution team really trying to get the shots in on him. He is the last one left, and he has done quite a bit of damage to the Revolution team. Ooh. Shots just coming up right behind him.
Yeah, a lot of teams on the board right now. Plenty of players just moseying around inside that zone. And, you know, you have to start wondering when they are going to run into one another because, you know, there's so many teams on the board. And you can see Rez already putting some hits in at the moment, just trying to keep themselves in this game. But there's so many players. And you can see Rez just right up close there with what I believe is Team Botswana. Yeah. So they're pretty close up together there in North Georgia, and we could see them clashing it out pretty soon.
Yeah, and Psycho Wolf is, of course, now rushing up right over towards them. We saw King Tartar taking a bit of damage there. Ooh, Grim getting hit in the kill feed. So we have some more action there from Ultra now happening. Oh, Reaper taking a bit of a punishment there from the players from the Res Haunted team. But it seems like it's a little bit of a stalemate that we've got going here. You know,
yeah.
Up here in North George, the team's just sitting there. Rez slowly but surely trying to move up, but not pushing in too aggressively.
Yeah, definitely just trying to feel their way out there, not committing very hard. And it seems like the rest of the map has really calmed down. So Despair now putting in a couple of hits, just trying to open up the advantages there to try and get that rush in. The rest of the map, though, very, very sort of taking a passive stance at the moment, not really getting too aggressive, just trying to keep themselves in this one, wait for that next zone to drop. So we'll see indeed where it does drop, because that's going to force the players in closer once again, and there are 62 of them still remaining.
Yeah, and that's a crazy, crazy number of players still left. You know, we're moving up into our third zone now. Well, second zone. Oh, look at that zone moving all the way up in towards the northern pod. And really, really small, though.
Yeah.
That is going to be super challenging.
These players are going to have to go hiking, for sure.
I mean, there's still so many teams left in the southern part. We've got Temper also now rolling up. We've got the team there from Empire just ahead of them. We got the Exiles also moving up. We got EFX pushing up in towards the area there at the shooting range. The 7 Atoms also making their push up in from the eastern side of that match of the map. Reluctant also right there, and the last team, the team furthest to the south, of course, being the players there from 4U, Mr. Iron Man and teammates.
Yeah, very, very far away from that zone. All of the teams now making their way in, they're going to just try and secure themselves a spot. And it's going to be very difficult for a lot of these teams to get in there because, well, all of these strong teams already getting a very, very strong dug-in position here inside the zone. It's going to be difficult to push past them unless they can maybe snake their way across. Of course, you can see the players on the line there. We have the Exiles just right there next to Tempa, who's just opposite on the one side of the zone, and that's on the southern side. They have plenty of potential to take down these teams moving up. Gun and Outsiders now going to be the ones trying to get their way into the zone. The rest of the teams trying to take the long way around to make sure they don't run into any bottlenecks.
Yeah, and of course we still have the players there from Vibrant, well, the player from Vibrant and Revolution still stuck over in the school area. They have not rotated out of this area just yet.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting there. They're just sort of sitting close to one another, not really ending whatever it is that's going on there. So one of those teams needs to make something happen. Otherwise, they just need to get out of there because they will be left behind very, very quickly. And with such little numbers to their name, it's going to be difficult to find them and secure themselves a spot inside the zone now that all these teams have already rotated inside.
Yeah, yeah. And of course now looking at the players here from Res Haunted, as they are now just tapping off a quick few shots over towards the players there from Ultra that's moving up right on the ridge above them. So both teams of course being in zone. We got Reluctant also not too far away, just off to the side. So it's going to be interesting to see what the team here from Ultra is going to do. Oh, no, well, there's the answer. They're going to try and put the shots into the Res team. See them flanking it up, trying to move in, and also we see Gun putting a quick few shots in the kill feed as well.
Yeah, some fights now happening all across the board as Tempa putting the hits in just like we knew they would as these teams try and push into the zone. They're going to lay down the fire down towards the western side of the map. You can see a whole lot of teams trying to get their way in, but that's going to make it so crowded. Meanwhile, Gun, they're fighting their way inside the zone. Outsiders trying to get their own spots. So fights happening all across the board as these teams try and secure their position in this zone.
Yeah, we got a Reluctant also now joining the party here with Ultra. While Ultra's trying to land those shots in on the players here from Res. So it's definitely a tricky one for them. But let's try and jump up into the fight that we've got going on between the Anarchy Angels. Oh, never mind. They just got taken out by Tempo.
Yep.
Well, there we go. I mean, we were trying to jump up into the fight, then poof, gone they are.
Yeah. Tempa just ends their fights nice and quick. So really what it's down to is this cluster here towards the west. That is, of course, Res, Ultra, and Reluctant. Very, very close by one another, trying to take those fights and knock one another out. Of course, Sabaweli in there as well amongst the chaos. So could potentially get some shots in. And these teams, they either need to take these fights or get out because it's getting very, very close quarters up here towards the west. And of course, that zone moving now towards the north, going to force these players to move in once again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Team Sabaweli, of course, now just moving up over towards the Odyssey team there. There we go. Sidon landing a quick one there on Luffy. Oh, the shot still going on in the background. Tempa picking off the players there from Botswana as well. And we got some Grenzar coming out. Ultra tapping off a quick few shots over towards the players there from Res. So it's a pretty packed zone that we're having here at the moment. Odyssey just trying to find those angles.
Yeah, it is about to be a very incredibly packed zone for sure. All these teams, we got 17 teams, 56 players on the board at the moment, and all of them have to fit into this tiny space. They're going to have to fight for these slots, fight for the chance to get in there. And a lot of these teams now just taking out the fire already. You can see Odyssey just trying to get the hits in, but slowly but surely, these players, the more they take the fights, the more their teams get just slowly worn down bit by bit, piece by piece, member by member, and utility by utility. They are losing some grip on this, and it's going to make the final zone pretty interesting as these teams start to make their way in.
And Odyssey really trying hard to land those final few blows, but the kill feed now also starting to light up as the players start putting their hits in, and we see Gun putting quite a bit of damage right into the Tempa team. Odyssey, of course, quickly finishing off the one last player there. But Gun gets a beautiful finish. Blows up the vehicle there, taking out two of the Tempa players. Now they are left with Mr. Shady and Nas as they now try and position themselves up in towards the zone. We've got the Exiles just up ahead of them. Gun now also rotating up. We're waiting to see what's going to happen. Outsiders also there with them, and down goes Nerf. I think Risk might be the last remaining player for Gun. Yes, he is. We've got Tempo closing in. EFX also tapping off a quick few shots in the kill feed. Oh, Tempo sends Gun into the lobby. And the Outsiders, of course, now taking quite a bit of a punishment here.
Yeah, they're sandwiched in between these teams here. Tempo right next to them, Exiles right above, everyone just clustering in here. You can see even Gun getting knocked out in that giant sandwich there. Not a great spot to be. They're going to have to fight their way out or just slip past somewhere. The rest of the teams making their way in, just trying to get in there. You can see the Exiles laying down the fire now, absolutely annihilating the players there, just making sure that they're not getting taken out from any side at the moment.
Yeah, and we're watching the players, of course, here now from Mecha 6 as they now just try and roll up into a safe spot, but there is no such space in the zone, seeing that it is so packed and there are so many players all around. They are just taking hits from all directions. You can see all the players in the surrounding area. We've got EFX, we've got the players from 4U, we've got iEnvy. Ooh. We've got the players there from Revolution as well. Several shots now, of course, going off in all directions. And Odyssey also getting in a quick few hits. We've got Rez now down to, well, I think they might be on their last player. Yep. There we go. Psycho Wolf, in fact, is the last one left. Reluctant firing off a quick flare. They're taking a few hits. The players, of course, there from the 7 Atoms doing quite a bit of damage to them.
Yeah, a lot of teams now are running out of that steam, just hitting so many walls and so many barriers in towards the zone that they're just slowly falling and tumbling down, going back to that lobby. Lots of players now need to rotate in from the north. Of course, 7 Atoms, Reluctant, Rez, that last player there being, of course, Psycho Wolf. Effects need to move down. iEnvy need to move down. 4U need to move down. The only players really with an edge way in towards this zone is, of course, the players there from the Exiles and Temper, who are very, very aggressively defending this position here at the moment. Emperor and Outsiders, they just cannot get into the zone.
Oh, well, there's so many teams that still need to cover quite a lot of distance to make it up in towards the zone, seeing that it shifted over in towards the southern side once again now. So just throwing a bit of a spanner in the works there for all the teams involved there. And you can see Reluctant slowly but surely closing in on Rez. Psycho Wolf caught out in the open. Down he goes. So lobby it is for him. We've got the players here from Botswana as well. Down to their last 2 now. Trying to pick off those shots at Reluctant as they now rotate up in towards zone. It is quite tricky to land those hits. But everyone now focusing their attention right over towards the Reluctant team as they try and rotate up in towards that zone. Ooh, there we go. More shots and some more shots, and we got Odyssey on right on the right on top of the hill here. It's a pretty good spot. So many teams need to still rotate up in towards zone, and they all need to come past here.
Yeah, Reluctant just making the charge in towards that zone, taking the chance, and it does pay off for them. They do manage to get inside there, but the zone is no safe space. Like you say, no place in the zone right now is a safe place to be, and as it gets even smaller, barely 150 meters across, these players, 9 teams, 24 players, have to get in here, and they're just absolutely getting knocked out left and right.
I mean, the kill feed once again is just absolutely lit up as the players now start making their push up in towards the zone. You know, limited options. Iron Man there, you getting taken out after doing quite a bit of damage. We've got the 7 Atoms team, of course, now all the way in the north. They're trying to make their move, trying to get up in towards that zone. Odyssey caught right on the edge there. They've got about 55 seconds left until the zone moves, and they have no other choice other than to face the music and try and battle it out. EFX, of course, now also caught up in the more northerly section of the zone here.
Yeah, these teams just need to make their way in, and FX, Odyssey, even the 7 Atoms team finding it very difficult, because once they get in here, they will be pretty much on every single team's doorstep, and there are 7 teams. these players are looking pretty much in any direction. We'll be able to find a player somewhere. And you can see they're just trying to hit the deck, find the cover, make sure they're not getting taken out. 7 Atoms making a little bit of a charge in towards the zone to try and secure a spot, but how long can they last on the onslaught of Teams Tampa now putting in the shots towards Reluctant? No one is safe.
But how is that positioning there by the player from Empire, positioning himself right in the plane? He's managing to hide out without being spotted, and he can of course sneak in a quick attack there and take out quite a few players in the process.
Yeah, that's definitely a very sneaky position that could come in handy for him. Maybe get a couple of kills on the board, could definitely throw a spanner in the works, but he just has to survive for the moment because the rest of these teams are looking so strong and hungry right now for this final zone that he needs to pick the right moment to spring his trap.
Yeah, and Zodiac there, of course, from 7 Atoms, getting a beautiful hit in. Now we're just trying to see what is going to happen. Everyone getting ready to rotate up into a zone once again. Nukes getting hit there by Shady up on the plane. So Temper getting knocked. One of the players, well, I think it was Shady or Nos that got knocked out, managing to get that res in, of course. And now they're rotating up right onto the side here. And we see the players there from 7 Atoms in a very comfortable position. 6 teams, 14 players left. And Mr. Bow, of course, still just chilling right there in the plane.
Ooh, this is interesting. That zone landing very favorable for Exiles, but that means that Temper is going to push up in towards them to try and take the space from them.
Yeah. So you could almost say that Mr. Bow is hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
And everyone just smoking it up for him, so he's fairly comfortable in his spot. And of course now Temper trying to find that angle. Nos rotating around, gets the hit in on MG. Oh, down he goes. Shady now the last one left. Nukes bring a quick end to him. Oh, there we go. So
boy,
6.
oh boy.
Man, this is really gonna be a very tough finish. Temper down to 1. Shady taking it. Oh, Zane finishing it off. Reluctant now. Woo.
This is just nuts, man. This is getting so tight right now. Reluctant moving up. Bo still in that position, but right now it's up to the Exiles to try and repel this attack. Reluctant looking very strong, so it's up to Zane and Cheddar to try and put the hits in. It looks like Bo's actually just going to let himself get taken out by this blue, not really having much of a chance. It was just a fight between Reluctant right now and Exiles.
And Smitty, of course, being the last one left. Cheddar just using that ditch to his advantage. They're getting a beautiful few shots in. So now we're just waiting to see whether or not Smitty's going to send a quick one over and send that team back into the lobby. Bo, of course, getting taken out by Mr. Clutch there. There we go. So Smitty now sending his grenades over. Zane getting rest up by Cheddar. So you've got 6 players left, 4 teams. Zane and Cheddar trying to find the angle on Smitty. We've got Clutch and Zodiac, of course, right at the back there. And Grim just holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Those Grens just absolutely flying. We have 3 teams remaining now. Of course, the 7 Atoms team. We have the Exiles. And of course, Odyssey just sitting at the back there is Grim to keep his team alive for as long as possible. So the real question is now, how do they play this one out? We've seen the solo player do some serious damage in the past. Can it happen again? Can Grim keep the hopes alive for Odyssey? Or is he just going to get taken out by the zone? It looks like he will.
Well, not before doing quite a bit of damage there to the 7 Atoms. The Clutch now the last one left. Zodiac getting knocked out there by Mr. Grim. So let's see, will Zane and Cheddar be able to clutch this one out? And they move up. Zane landing quite a bit of damage into Clutch.
That's done.
Well, there we go. There we have it. So the Exiles finishing off in chicken position with 14 kills. We got the players there from 7 Atoms, of course, finishing their play on 7 kills in second place. Odyssey coming in third place, also with 7 kills. And then, of course, we got Reluctant in 4th place with a very comfortable 6 kills. And Empire going out empty-handed for this round.
Yeah, it was definitely an insane match to watch. We just saw there's so many players on the board, just so much stuff happening. The rotates become so difficult, breaking into the zone becomes so difficult, and really it comes down to who manages to get themselves into a good spot as soon as possible. And then, you know, all the fights happen, you're trying to rotate into a safe spot, but there are just no safe spots in that zone. And finally we get to those last few zones where we see the players just try and knock one another out, try and get the hits in. And well, yeah, a spicy final zone, and a couple of teams just putting in some work, and Exiles taking the chicken. So well done.
Yeah, well done, well played. I mean, that was absolutely crazy, and just seeing the amount of players and teams still in that final zone, that was just insane.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it a few times where we had quite a few teams and players still left at the end, but I mean, that is almost taking it to another level. You know, we had what, 50 something players moving into one of those final zones.
Yeah, it's like, so this is the beginning of I think the last of maybe 3 or 4 final zones. You know, we had 50 players still on the board, everyone just running around trying to get a spot, and really all this game is just trying to fight for those spots in zone.
Yeah, well, we do have 24 teams playing in this match.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's quite challenging, but I think on that, let's jump up into some of the highlights that we managed to get from there, and then of course we'll take it into the next match after that.
Yeah.
Righty, right. So here we go. What's up, guys? Alright, so we are getting ready for our third and final match to get underway. And of course, we're heading right back into that Erangel match. The match is going to be a crazy one going into this one. Any predictions?
I hope so, man.
Any predictions?
You know what? My predictions are that it's going to be a great map. It's going to be a great match. We're going to see some great stuff. I'm definitely going to stay awake the whole time. We're going to see everything going on, and it's going to be wonderful from start to finish.
There we go. All right, so without further ado, let's jump right into the match. All right, so there we go. The teams just once again, so as you can see, of course, we've got the players there from JXP Temper over in slot 2. We've got the players, of course, then from Spaza Gaming over in slot 3. In slot 4, we've got the players there from Mecha 6. In 5, we've got the team from Odyssey. In slot 6, we've got the players from Reluctant. We've got Gun in slot 7. We also have the players from the Natural Killers over in slot 8. We've got Empire over in slot 9. We've got the Exiles over in slot 10. Static Nation in slot 11. We've got Vibrant sitting in slot 13. Envy in slot 14. Team Sabaweli in slot 15. In 16, we've got the players there from Royal Esports. In 17, we've got the team from Botswana. In 18, we've got the Outsiders Official. We've got Revolution sitting in slot 19. In slot 21, we've got EFX. In 22, we've got the Anarchy Angels. 7 Atoms in 23. Alpha Pack in 24. And then, of course, last but not least, we've got the players from 4U Stealth over in slot 25.
Yeah, and we got a nice little flight path as well, heading down all the way from Stalba up in the north down to that Sosnovka military base. So a nice little flight path there, going to allow all those teams to jump out into of course, those nice hotspots, and as well the military base. We're going to see a little bit of love towards that side, which is great. And now we're just going to have a look and see if we see any spicy zones, because we've been seeing some very interesting zones of late, I must admit.
Yeah, and we've got quite a concentration of players over in the Yasnaya area there, as well as Rozak. Several teams dropping down right in that section. And we've got the players, of course, from Envy now making their push up in towards the Pachinki area there. And we got the Reluctant team trying to head over into what seems to be Gatka. Gun also splitting up quite a bit for this round, and we've got 2 or 3 teams making their push right into that military island. As you mentioned, we've got Natural Killers, we've got Temper, and of course the players there from Spaza Gaming that we can see, and also 7 Atoms making their move, also landing on the military island. Ooh.
Yeah, so a lot of big names there on the military island, and a potential for quite a few fights to break out here. You can see the Natural Killers already getting into a bit of a tussle, and Temper right here with them.
Yeah, Tempo already 1 man down. Deity also not getting taken down. So the players from Sponsor Gaming doing quite a bit of damage already with all these teams that we've got landing here with them. So the Natural Killers in a bit of in a little bit of trouble there. And of course also the players from Tempo sitting on 3. So we'll see now, will Sponsor Gaming be able to pull this one off? Will they put in the necessary hits? Vile of course quickly getting that hit in on Mr. Berserk.
Yeah, so that's some very juicy stuff going off there. As Juicy gets the hits in on towards Temper, and Temper trying to fire back on towards the Natural Killer. So fights going off all across the entirety of that section of the island. They're just instant knockouts, instant claps. We're going to see some nice early fighting, which is great.
Yeah, we got Vile, of course, now pushing up. Oh, gets sent down there by Shady. We got Flacco, of course, quickly getting that res in on Mayo. Mayo recovering some health there. We got the team, of course, there from Spaza Gaming just in the compound right next to them, making their move around. Natural Killers, of course, over towards the north there. We're just waiting to see now, will the Natural Killers push up? Everyone, of course, running around trying to find weapons. We've got the team from Empire, of course, now getting hit by the outsiders. Juice getting taken down there by Shady with a VSS. Andrew also putting a quick hit into Mr. Bry.
Yeah, I don't know how these teams are thriving at the moment, but for some reason they're still staying alive. Meanwhile, For You going to go for a bit of a swim, and well, they drink a bit too much water in that, and well, these 3 teams just sitting here in the center of the military island, just still fighting it out somehow, still staying alive for this long, being able to just take the fight against one another. But Temper seem to be okay for the moment. We'll see if they can come out on top of this one, or if the players from the Natural Killers and of course Sparza will be enough.
Yeah, well, we also saw the players there from the outsiders just taking out the team from Empire. So several shots now still flying back and forth here between Temper and the Natural Killers. So waiting to see, are they going to push in? Shady, of course, quickly cooking up a grain, trying to get it ready to send it across. He sends it off. Hitting up right towards Juicy. Doesn't seem to have done enough damage or any damage at all. Hippo, of course, taking quite a bit of a hit out of that. They're waiting now to see, are they going to push up? Ooh, we got some more shots there. The Royals also getting hit in the process, as you can see in the guild feed there. The players from Mecha 6 doing quite a bit of damage there as well.
Yeah, they're right on top of each other in Mansion there. And of course in Yasnaya, we have 3 teams sitting on top of one another as well. Of course, we've got Static Nation. Looks like we've got Odyssey. We've got Rev as well. Revolution up in there. So lots of teams just stacked around Yasnaya as well. So lots of fights now happening across the board, which is really great.
Yeah, we're also seeing the players here from Sponza Gaming, of course, now rotating out of the military base, making their way off out of the area here, leaving Natural Killers and Temper to their own vices here, so they can battle it out for control of this. And we see Odyssey, as you mentioned, they're also putting a quick few shots in over towards Revolution.
Yeah, those fights definitely going across the board, and Vibe going to be putting the shots into For You. So For You not having a great time right now. They're just getting absolutely dunked and exploded left and right. So they're feeling the heat on this one, or perhaps not so much. We'll see what the rest of the map has to offer at the moment. The teams in Yasnaya are still very close to one another. And, well, these teams down here in the military base also still pretty close.
Well, you can see this Yasnaya region is just getting lit up. We've got Odyssey, Revolution, Static Nation, and of course Alpha Pack, all just battling for control here, trying to see who will come out victorious at the end. And of course now Team Sabaweli turning up the heat there on the Exiles. Shots flying up. Odyssey taking down a Revolution. Well done, well played. There we go. So yet another team getting sent back to the lobby. 3 teams already getting sent down. And I believe there's quite a fight still happening down over in the military base. Let's see if we can get in on that.
Now there certainly is. Their Temper still thriving to stay alive here. Natural Killers putting the hits in. Can they survive? It will not be the case. And Temper managed to get out with just a little bit, enough to survive.
Yeah, and of course losing 1 player in the process. Several more teams now still spread out across the map. And that Yasnaya area is still very, very crazy. You can see the players there from Temper, of course, now also making their push up in towards the same region. So waiting to see now what's going to happen. Will we see some more of these teams just battling it out? 3 teams, of course, now still remaining up here. So the players there from Static Nation taking quite a bit of damage in the process. We got Alpha Pack slowly but surely moving in. We got Abel and the whole squad slowly but surely pushing up. Odyssey also trying to tap off a quick few hits.
Oof, yeah. This very, very crowded area here up in Yasnaya. Just lots and lots of shots going through. Honestly, trying to put them in at the moment. Outsiders also taking a fight against Vibe at the moment, but just so much happening. Really, really good to see these players taking the initiative, really knocking one another out. Static Nation getting hit and trying to return fire. Ooh.
Static Nation getting caught on the staircase there. They are down to their last hopeful, that of course being Mr. Trippy. So we're just waiting to see now, will Alpha back push in? Yes, they get the hit off the side. And that shot came in from who? Let's see. It was one of... that was... I think it might have been Odyssey. Because Odyssey is now rushing up. Yes, Grim landing that final blow, taking them down. Ooh, shots. And down they go. Odyssey finishing them off. Beautiful rushing there. Odyssey finishing off with 7 kills. Just in that one push.
Yeah, Odyssey going to be feeling really, really great at the moment. They've gotten some amazing fights so far, but those fights are not yet over. We see 14 teams remaining in this map, and this is definitely a big change of pace from what we've seen before, and the fighting's still continuing now. A lot of teams towards the east are going to be putting some shots in towards one another as they make their way in towards the zone, which is very, very centralized. Gun taking a couple of hits now as well.
Yeah, they're definitely putting a few shots right over towards Spaza Gaming as they've now made their rotation up from the military island, heading up over in towards the main island there. You can just see the shots flying in. We got Coco, Deity, and Staples, the 3 players here for the Spaza Gaming team. And of course, Gun just up ahead of them there, Mr. Slim, Broly, and Mr. Risks.
Yeah, these teams now all over the place. Can they make the shots?
Yep, that is the question of the hour, I'd almost say. Seeing what they can do, how they can get these the shots going, and then potentially try and move themselves up the leaderboard. Because at the end of the day, that is what all the teams are wanting to do, is get those kills in and try and place as high up as they possibly can.
Yeah, that is definitely the aim of the game. And, well, a lot of teams have been doing a pretty good job at that so far. And we'll see who comes out on top of this one and who takes that win ultimately overall. But at the moment, we've got a lot of players moving in from the east here. Also, Bawali moving in. We've got Vibe as well as Mega 6, who are just sitting there towards the east. Might just be taking a couple of shots at one another as well.
Yeah, so let's see what's going to happen here with the players then, of course, from Mecha 6 as Team Sabaweli now starts rushing up right in towards them. Oh, shots going all over the place. Shroud getting knocked out in the process. Luffy now moving up, getting quick hit in on Shade. We got Poison and Ash, the 2 remaining players there. Also, we have the Anarchy Angels just rotating up in the distance. And of course, also now the team there from the 7 Atoms, not too far away. Ooh. Let's see, will Poison survive this? As the players, of course, now starts rushing in. Team Sabaweli making their push. Up they come. Poison trying to find a good place to go to, but he gets shot from behind. Oh, there we go. Zodiac comes in with a beautiful third party.
Yeah, and now Sabaweli have some more problems to worry about because, of course, the Angels up towards the north and 7 Atoms down below going to be making their way in. 7 Atoms launching their attack now on towards Sabaweli.
Yeah, up they come rushing right in. Mr. Unseen, the first one to be shot. Down he goes. We got Clutch, Zodiac, and Flame, of course, now just moving up in the distance there. So Team Sabaweli caught in a little bit of a tough spot here. Oh, IBZ getting taken down. Luffy fortunately there to get the res in. So Flame and the remainder of the squad, of course, now just rushing in. Down goes Clutch. The Angels also now coming in. President goes down. Shroud now fighting for his life. The last remaining player, well, him and Luffy. Luffy, of course, trying to get that res in. Up comes Zodiac. Oh, down goes Zodiac. Beautiful shooting by Luffy.
Yeah, and some great opportunistic play coming out from the Angels here, just trying to make their way in to capitalize on this fight going down at the moment. These teams have just absolutely destroyed themselves for free, basically, and the Angels could definitely capitalize on this if they get in here. At the moment, though, we're seeing if the 7 Adams can finish off Subaweli.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Shroud just tempting right down there at the staircase. Flame, of course, sending a quick one down. Bit of a false alarm, trying to scare them into thinking it's a grenade that he threw down. But also now this opens the door for the Anarchy Angels to just rush up and get those hits going.
Yeah, we'll see if they get that done, of course, in a good time. Subaweli still hanging on by a thread, but for how much longer is the real question.
Yeah, we'll see. Flame also now just smoking it up, trying to ensure that he can stay up here for as long as possible. Well, he's got 2 minutes and 20 seconds until that zone starts moving in. Now we're just waiting to see, will he be able to get it? A few grins, of course, now flying in the window there. Oh, up comes the Angels.
Ooh.
So they're now moving in, trying to take advantage of this party that we've got going on. The whole squad now just rushing up. Sprinkles, Muffin, Tigress, and of course Rogue Baby. Up they come, rushing in. We've got some mollies also flying up over towards the players there, of course, from Team Subaweli. Flame now in a pretty good spot. I think he is quite relieved now. Oh, Muffin gets that hit. Down goes Muffin.
Some spicy stuff. Luffy not gonna survive in the meantime. Muffin getting hit. Flamey's still alive, so Subaweli gets taken down in the process, but Flamey's still alive at the moment, just trying to hold on to that thread. And if the Angels sniff him out, it could be done for him.
Yeah, but I don't think they know that he's here. I mean, he's been pretty motionless, just waiting, trying to see if anyone's gonna try and come upstairs. You know, the remainder of this of the Anarchy Angels just there. Ooh, Rogue Baby just popping up that staircase.
But that discipline to not pull the trigger is so good because they didn't even look in his direction, so they do not know that he's here right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, if he plays this well, he could pretty well get a squad wipe or a nice surprise attack on them, at least. So we just see now what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he could either walk away free from this one if they do move on without seeing that he's there, or he could just surprise attack them from inside and just dismantle them completely without them realizing it. Now, in the meantime, players moving in towards that zone, which is landing right centralized around Pachinki, Reluctant, and Envy, right in there towards Pachinki. The rest of the teams making their way up, and Odyssey actually very close to the Angels here. They could potentially meet some resistance if they do decide to move out.
Yeah, we're just waiting now to see where everyone's going to go to. And of course, the blue zone is slowly but surely about to start closing in. Just waiting to see that happen now, of course. And yeah, so far so good for Mr. Flame here. You know, he hasn't been spotted, hasn't been sniffed out. And he might live to fight another zone.
Yeah. I mean, it's really great to see some of these stealthy plays. You know, we've seen hiding in bushes, we've seen players hiding in aeroplane parts, and now we see a player successfully hiding right in the attic, right on top of another team. So really, really good stuff coming out there. Some good trigger discipline, not giving away his position just yet. Really nice to see. In the meantime, Reluctant and Envy still going at it there in Pachinki.
Yeah, and now we've got an Odyssey now rushing up right here towards the Angels.
Ooh.
So up they come, rushing in, the whole squad, taking, some pretty nice shots there at the Anarchy Angels as they've, just trying to move around, trying to get into position. But we will see now, maybe this might also mean the end for Mr. Flame here, depending on, of course, where the Anarchy Angels move to.
Yeah, I mean, I find it absolutely hilarious that Flamey has been sitting there, that they come in, Subaweli moves to try and attack, and they take a fight, they get absolutely third-partied, Flamey managing to stay alive, the Angels take it, and now Odyssey moving in as well, and Flamey's still here, just hiding in the attic, not going anywhere, not making any moves, and all of these teams just going to disengage and leave, and he manages to survive.
Yeah, and now of course, Odyssey just positioning themselves right inside zone, waiting for everyone to start moving out. And the Angels taking quite a wide rotation there. Mr. Flame still left in the attic, waiting to see if there's anyone nearby. And he's of course now going up against the blue zone. So Odyssey now in hot pursuit of the Angels. They're chasing up, and of course in the meantime we've seen the players there from INV now rotate up towards Reluctant in Pochinki. So let's jump up into the Anarchy Angels here, because Odyssey is now moving in, trying to take advantage of them, just pulling up into this compound. So 2 of the 3 players, ooh, never mind, there we go. Rogue Baby now joining the party as well. Odyssey trying to find those heads. Down goes Rogue Baby. Vindok putting those heads in. Sprinkles and Tigress. Ooh, Tigress taking a bit of damage there. Ooh, down goes Tigress. Now it's up to Sprinkles. And Sprinkles doing some great shooting there. Getting grim in the process, but of course succumbing to the sprinkles of lead that was flying in.
Yeah, it is inevitable, and it does indeed come. We're left with 11 teams now. This is zone heading towards the north. A lot of teams already getting their way in there. Flamey gonna have to make some moves if he wants to stay alive. He did such a good job of maintaining his stealth. He cannot give up now. I want to see him in the final zone. He needs to get there. In any case, Temper actually all the way down in the south, moving their way off the island, and it's Reluctant and INV still going at it there towards one another. So I'm interested to see how Temper decide to approach this one. The zone is absolutely packed at the moment, and they're going to be greeted with quite a procession, or a couple of sprinkles of lead, as it were.
Well, we'll see how this goes, and yeah, INV now just trying to get those reses in, but Reluctant rushing right up to greet them. Everything riding on Mr. Inspector and Boyka. Ooh, Boyka, nice sprinkle there. Let's see what will happen now. Ooh. Wow, 2 for 2. Never mind,
Yeah.
3 for 3. I'm waiting to see one more player left. Blitz is, oh, done. Done and done.
I mean, that is what it is. INV just playing that one out, making sure they get the hits in, and just taking that advantage, converting those kills. Now Odyssey moving their way in, going to meet up with Gun on the eastern side of this zone right here. The rest of the team's fairly spread out at the moment, just trying to get comfortable in zone, get a breather for a second, as the team from Effect might just meet the Botswana team here as they move in. Odyssey now getting into contact with Gun.
Yeah, there we go. The shots flying back and forth. EFX also putting a few hits in towards Botswana there. So let's see what's going to happen here with Gun. Odyssey now fairly comfortable in their rush into this part of the zone here. And they've managed to push back the players there from Gun. Of course, several Grens now just landing right behind them.
Yeah, the shots going forward now. Effects pushing up on Botswana, taking those shots in as they can capitalize on it. Odyssey now in a bit of a stale here towards Gun, trying to get past this little gatekeep, as it were. Meanwhile, Botswana not faring too well, trying to fight back against Effects.
Oh, well, we've got INV, EFX, as well as the Botswana team. So 3 teams fighting for control of this section here. So we'll see who will come out victorious. Botswana down to what seems to be the only 2 players. Ooh. Wavy running right into that one. And of course, EFX now just falling back ever so slightly. Mr. Paco is the last hopeful left for the team.
Ooh.
The outsider's now getting shot at. So the players here from INV are quite thirsty, as well as EFX. Putting in several
they want to get
hits.
those points.
Well, Flame is of course now rolling up. He's pushing up into a zone, and Temper's now moving up for their share in the little gunfight that we've got going up on the hill here.
Yeah. I mean, I would just like to point out that Flame was actually rotating out of that house, finally moving his way in, and he comes face to face with Tempa, and he just nopes the heck out of there. He just turns right around, goes back into the blue zone, rotates all the way around to try and stay alive. So he's just going to hide behind the foliage and the rocks here as Odyssey push up, and he's going to keep his life for the moment. In the meantime, we'll see if Tempa can take this fight against Gun, because Odyssey did not take it, and we'll see if Tempa make that same decision to rotate away.
Yeah, well, Flame is definitely our hide-and-go-seek champion of this match. I mean, some great hiding there. Managing to go unseen for quite some time.
Yeah, we really do need like a hide-and-seek champion award to just give to players that manage to do stuff like this, because it happens so rarely, but when it happens, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Oh, now we got Odyssey and EFX going at it right here on the edge of the zone. Odyssey, of course, pulling up in their full numbers here. EFX also on full numbers to greet them. Got INV still off in the distance, just over towards the southwest. Gun also now rotating up, moving up into what seems to be just the outlying area there of Pachinki.
Yeah, all the teams rotating up in towards that zone. Gun getting nice and cozy there with a lot of teams. The Exiles moving up, Odyssey right ahead, INV up there too, and Effects just ahead of them as well. So a nice little cluster towards the southern portion of the zone. Tempa nice and easy up towards the north, not going to be challenged by anyone. The rest of the teams now trying to make their way into the zone. Is going to be a little bit of a fight down here towards the south.
Yep, definitely going to be a bit of a fight, and at the moment, we still see Odyssey and EFX exchanging quite a few hits between each other. A lot of back and forth between the teams there. And INV also now just contributing ever so slightly every now and again. But not sure whether or not they're fighting, shooting up into this area, or they're trying to get some hits in over towards the gun players that we've got just atop the reach there. And also now the Exiles rotating up. We've got Tempa all the way up in the northern side there.
Yeah, they're sitting quite comfortable there. No challenge whatsoever. They're just going to let this one play out. They know their position at the moment. They don't want to get involved in the massive cluster fight that we have going at the bottom here. Just a couple of teams. We have Odyssey, we have Effects, we have the Exiles rolling up now, and Flame actually coming in as well. Might just come into quite a party, quite a packed party, as it were. Might just have to pull some dodging skills once again.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. As you can see, we got a drop coming in as well. The Exiles just moving up into the side there. Nukes getting that hit in on Flame. So Flame just getting bounced out of the lobby there.
Flame, you were doing so well.
Submissions have closed. Go back.
Oh boy. Look at that zone. It's just landed right up to the top there, away from absolutely everyone. Everyone's just going to have to move their way in once again, and this is just going to squeeze the remaining 8 teams and 25 players into a span of no more than 300 or so meters.
Yeah, definitely quite the challenging position for them to move up into, but Gun putting several more hits in over towards INV. EFX managing to rotate out, using that as their cue to get out of dodge. Moving up. Oh, Brody getting hit. We are now left with Slim and Risks. You see INV also slowly but surely trying to make their way out. Slowly but rotating off. We've got Odyssey still holding their position there, and of course the Exiles still trying to move up. They got a 1 minute left until the zone shifts up, and they have no other choice other than to move. But the Exiles now making a quick push. They are rushing off, trying to just evade the players there from Odyssey as they now make their way up in towards zone. Nukes, of course, not accounting for that tree right in front of his face there. Oh. Look at the shots now. EFX putting those hits in. MG getting knocked out. Nukes now moving up. Wow, this is insane. Odyssey. Oh, taking quite a beating. Nukes trying to capitalize on his rush. Yes, gets the hit in on Shady. What? This is crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Nukes just ripping it up all over the place. I mean, INV putting in hit after hit as well. So many teams now on the move out in the open. trying to find that spot, and INV just picking off at EFX. In fact, in all directions, because we also have the players there from Spaza Gaming now trying to move up the side. Outsiders very comfortable in their spot, holding up in the compounds there in the water town. No need for them to rush off in any directions just yet. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a difficult spot to be in for the Exiles. They're split up at the moment. The rest of the teams moving their way in. Spaza Gaming just sitting there in towards the west. We have INV and Gun and Exiles taking a whole bunch of beatings. There's Zane getting shot at just all over the place. Gun and INV trying to put those hits in. Of course, Effects just sitting there towards the east. Now, Nuke's the last one left for the Exiles here to try and make something happen. Sitting right next to Temper, and the zone once again shifting and becoming just a tiny little lunchbox for these players.
Yeah, well, we'll see what's going to happen. Ooh, some shots now flying up over towards the INV team. We got EFX just riding on the edge of the zone. We got Temper also just trying to outlast as many shots as they can, of course. And the Outsiders, they're not really too phased. They're just like, well, you know, we've got a good position here. We'll just wait until we have to move and then we'll go. While all the other teams, of course, battling. Oh, there we go. So Outsiders now rolling up. Gun getting a hit in on INV.
Yeah. Yeah, spicy stuff. Outsiders trying to get some hits in, trying to do something against the players. Yeah, they know they need to knock some of these players out to get those points on the board, but can they make it happen? That's the real question. Kizian just staying all the way back towards the compound, so not out there to help his team.
INV putting those hits in over towards EFX. Whoa. And Andrew moving up to that hill. He's just parked off there. I mean, Temper slowly but surely now moving a little bit further away. And of course, we can see the Outsiders now about to start dancing here with Spaza Gaming as they now move in. Trying to get up onto this ridge.
Yes, the teams right now having to utilize their positions around this terrain to such extent, like huge extent at the moment. FX moving up with that cover of smoke. Flacco now moving in along with Mayor trying to get in towards their position. Nuke's now actually riding up right beside them. So the shot's just going to absolutely fly. All the teams getting jam-packed into this tiny little space.
And Nuke's pulling up right in towards INV. Spaza Gaming also getting hit in the process. There we go. Temper down to 1. EFX moving up. Horus getting knocked out. Reverb goes down. Down goes Temper as well. INV now sitting on 2 players. Outsiders on 2. Gun still on there too. One of which is of course knocked. And EFX also still on 4 players. 2 of which we have knocked out. So Inspector and Maniac now just moving up, trying to get in towards that zone. The Outsiders, of course, just still up on this ridge. They still hanging in, you know. Oh, down goes Kaizen. Now let's see, will EFX land the final blow on Andrew? Or will he be able to outlast them? We got INV now also just rotating up the side. Here he comes. Oh, nice.
Cheerio. The Outsiders get taken out. Now it's up to Gun and Effects to take their battle to see who results in the win there. It looks like Effects might just be taking the one here with the Krens coming in and the knockouts just absolutely flying at the moment. Slim, last one left alive for Gun. INV, the only ones who could change the fate here at the moment. 2 teams remaining. It's INV and Effects. Can Inspector land the shots?
Well, we'll find out soon enough. Everything is, of course, now riding on Inspector for this last fight. EFX on a full squad of 3. Oh, and there we have it. Game, set, match. EFX coming in with a chicken dinner. 13 kills. Well, freaking done. INV finishing their play off on 11 kills. We got Gun coming up with only 1 kill in 3rd place. Well, yeah, then we got the Outsiders in 4th place, finishing their play there on 10 kills. Well done. Then we've got the players, of course, also now from Spaza Gaming, finishing off in 5th place with 2. And Temper managing to get 6th place, just 1 ahead of the Exiles, finishing off, of course, in 7th place. Pretty tough match. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely something different to watch going in there. We saw a lot of people's expectations maybe being overturned there. Temper not making it in towards the top 5 like we usually see them. And they did get a couple of kills going for themselves, so not too bad. But ultimately, Effects doing a really good job of just being able to close that one out. Envy, of course, coming in second, doing a pretty decent job there to stay alive and get in those kills. So really great stuff. And some other teams just really coming out to shine this time around. So a really nice match to watch. You know, we really got to see some other teams coming out at the forefront of the things that were going on, which is great. And ultimately just GG and well played.
Yeah, no, that was an amazing way to finish off the finals there. Lots of action, lots of crazy shots, and yeah, once again, well done to EFX for getting the chicken dinner in this last match. Well done it. All right, so I think on that one, we're going to end it off for today. But yeah, once again, well done to all the teams. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, enjoyed the feed. Yeah, there we go. Signing off, DK and Patchy.
Yeah, cheers. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, well, let's see, you know, yeah. Well, let's go into the that one. I'm just trying to find the buttons, okay? I'm trying to find the buttons. But anyway,
yeah.
Here we go. Cheers, guys.